Hey guys, how's it going? So tonight we're going to talk about hashtags, highlights, stories, basically Instagram focus, but a lot of this you can also apply to your Facebook because now Facebook owns Instagram, so they're similar platforms. They're not exactly the same, but they do have a lot of the similar features now. Right off the bat though, before I get into it, the only difference is you don't want to use hashtags on Facebook. If you just use one hashtag, that's okay, but you don't want to do like the same principles with hashtags. Um, because what happens is Facebook will look at that as, oh, they're meaning to basically be on Instagram. It kind of confuses the platforms and the algorithm, and it may work against you. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Natalie Nicole Sahuska. I love social media. I absolutely love Instagram and learning all these things. So hopefully you guys get some out of this, get something out of this. So if you already utilize hashtags, highlights, and stories, I want you to drop a number 1. If you don't really know how to do that, maybe you've like seen them, you've kind of tried it, played around with it, drop a number 2. I just want to see where you guys are at. And I actually was going to edit one of my backup accounts while we were on here, so that way I can kind of show you exactly how I do it, and also like the thought process behind kind of making everything flow. And I think that's the biggest thing, is they all kind of go into one another. The hashtags can be used in your bio too, so I feel like that's important. But if you guys want to kind of follow me along on this profile of mine, let me make this. It'll just be easier for me to kind of walk you guys through it as I'm changing mine, because I have not touched this account in, when's the last time I posted? I posted on this account November 9th, 2018. So it's been about a year, okay? It is my backup account. It is Bodies by Natalie Nicole. So if you want to go on my Instagram, you guys are going to get like the legit experience. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, then you're already going to see the final piece. But so this one, I have some highlights already on here, but they're just like not like what I want them to be. I'm rebranding, so I want it to look more of that light and airy. I want it to have some pink in it, because that is now my brand. So first, when you're looking at your Instagram, you want to decide, what is the vibe you want? What is the feel that you want? What do you want people to see when you are going on your page? And the reason why I brought this up is because with hashtags, because if you use a bunch of hashtags in your bio, people will find your profile with that if you're on public, but it can also look kind of spammy. And that's another reason why you don't really want to use them on Facebook, because they're not meant for Facebook. They're meant for Instagram. So there is some separation between the platforms. I just wanted to preface that right away and kind of set the tone with that, because I feel like that is so, so important, just to know, what goes on each platform, because that's what's going to favor you in the algorithm. That's what's going to get you more visibility, and that's what's going to be aesthetically pleasing, because at the end of the day, that's what social media is, right? It's all about the flow of it. It's all about how it looks. And that also can, either attract people or repel people, depending on what you're trying to do with it. So, all right, Bodies by Natalie Nicole. I'm going to put it in here just in case you guys don't know how to spell it. And first and foremost, I'm going to change my profile picture. So if you feel like you need to update all of your things as well, you can do this with me as I'm kind of walking you through it, because I'm going to explain the mindset of doing some of these things. And I'm going to go really deeper into the hashtags, highlights, and stories. But first and foremost, your profile picture, that is what represents you. You want it to flow with the highlights. So before we can even do the highlights, we have to look at the profile picture. And if you like your profile picture, cool, then you can make highlights that kind of go off of that. So I'm just going to pick one real quick. I love how whenever you use Lightroom or some of the editing apps, it puts it in a folder in an album for you on your actual like camera roll. So I pulled up my Lightroom album, and I'm just going to pick one of my recent cruise pictures, because I love the vibe of that. And like I said, you can pick whatever you want, whatever represents you, what is your brand. And if you don't know it, then, try and think of what are the core values that you want to offer people. What do people come to you about? What do you normally, get asked? What questions do people ask you? That should be something of your brand. So settings, profile picture, Just bear with me, you guys. I promise you this is going to be the best way for me to teach you is to actually do it with you on here. If they did not change things around, I would find it. A profile, duh, right in front of my face. Okay, change profile picture. And I'm just going to pick one. I was trying to do it, but I kept clicking on adding story. So let me change it. And then you guys can just like refresh my page as I'm doing this stuff so you can see like what I'm doing as I'm doing it if you want. But this is like more of like my fitness one. So I'm going to pick something that kind of represents that aspect of it. Maybe all, there's no static. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I like this picture for now. It's one of my beach ones. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just change my bio too, because it kind of doesn't jive with me anymore. I like to use the Instagram fonts now, and that's how I branded myself on my other platforms. So I'm gonna utilize this as well. And as you guys can see, it does not flow, right? Like that is teal. This has a bunch of colors. This has a bunch of colors. It's like bright, and then this is light and airy. That does not mesh well at all, right? So that's why we're gonna make it flow. It's gonna look like it's in unison, because this is what draws people in, you guys. First impressions, pretend it's like dating, right? When you have an outfit on that matches, when you have your makeup on, when you have your hair done, when you look a specific way, you feel confident, right? Your social media is the same thing. It's like a representation of who you are. And if you feel confident about it, if it flows, if it matches, you know, if it has your vibe and your personality, that is what people are gonna feel. And that's what our goal is with this. So I'm gonna continue saying that I'm in Florida. So now I'm going to pull up the Instagram fonts, which I have it saved as a bookmark because I use it all the time. It is called coolsymbol.com. That's the one I use. There's other websites out there. You can just Google Instagram fonts and you'll get your own link there. But I'm going to write Florida, and then I'm going to put one of those actually, you know what I'm going to do? Here's another little tip. So if you actually put your town, or you put like your title, or you put like your brand, like let's say you're a fitness coach, let's say you're a lifestyle coach, if you actually put that in your name of your Facebook and your Instagram. If you look at my personal one, Miss Fitness Princess, I wrote growth mentor as like the actual title. When people search the word mentor, my profile is going to show up. So I used to do this all the time when I had Tampa in my actual name, and I feel like people found me and followed me because I gave them that extra resource to find me. And this is kind of the whole point of hashtags too, is you want to hashtag all your posts and be on public, so that way people can find you. There's been so many times that I've signed someone up and I asked them, I'm like, how did you even find me? Oh, one of your fitness hashtags. You guys, like, it's a gold mine. You just have to know how to use them properly and which ones to use. So I'll dive into that, but I feel like appearances come first. So I'm gonna put, let's see, I'm gonna put online coach because that's my brand on this page. So I'm going to put online coach and then Florida with like the little, I don't know what that thing's called. It's like a little stick with a red ball at the end. Kind of means like a pin on the map, I think. And then I'm going to completely just delete my bio and just click save. So that way you guys can see the first part of what I'm doing. So I just legit wrote online coach, Florida, with a little red thingy, pin on the map. And then I'm gonna now go back and edit. And I like to save things as I go and look at it to see if I even like the flow of it. Do I like the font? If not, change it. This is meant to be changed all the time. Like I said on my previous Instagram training, if you're not changing your bio, if you're not changing what you look like in your posts and your, you know, your your filters that you're using and presets, then you're not growing, and your audience wants to see you grow. So hopefully you guys are making changes to yours. And if you have multiple accounts, maybe edit a secondary account, maybe create a second account if you feel like you want to be specific with your brand. What are you into? I made an account for my cats, the Persian brothers, and I branded them. So you can make one for whatever you want, but it's just good to have exposure with different things that you're into, so then you can drive the traffic to your main page. That's what I basically use it for. And also I had 1,000 cat pictures on my phone, and I'm sure my audience was more of dog people. I did polls, and that's how I found that out, and that's what led me to making my cat Instagram. But I don't like how that looks, so I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna do a different font, and I'm gonna just do it all unison. Online coach, and I'm gonna put Tampa Bay, because my picture is of a bay, right? It has the ocean, so that kind of flows. And this may seem so minuscule to you guys, but this is what's gonna make you look next level. This is the types of little details that is gonna make you stand out and is gonna make you actually look legit for people to want to follow you and join you. It's all about presentation. So, all right, I just did a cursive font. I like how that looks. It kind of flows with the picture. If you guys are refreshing my page, you can see that. But now look how I feel like advanced that looks with that font compared to my highlights. My highlights look like a preschool kid did them. You know what I mean? But I haven't touched this page in forever, and I gave it 2 minutes of effort. And that's exactly what it looks like, is 2 minutes of effort. So now we're putting in the effort. So now we're gonna click edit profile, and I'm just gonna wing this off the top of my head because I have not given this much thought, but that's okay for the principle of it. So I'm gonna put fitness, online coach, fitness. And sometimes it takes time to think of things. Like if you guys are struggling to think of words, it's been an ongoing process for me too to brand myself. Oh, I can just do fitness plans and motivation. Something like that. And then I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom of the thread of all the fonts, because I want that Instagram font it's called monospace. I call it like Instagram font, but it's called monospace. And I use this on my other profile. So I want to now be in unison. So if you haven't done this yet on Facebook, you can be on Facebook right now making your bio. You can utilize this time, to also revamp something, because I'm sure there's something that could use some work, right, on your bio. So fitness plans and motivation, ENS. And then I'm going to skip a line, and I'm going to write, just thought of it top of my head, accountability at your fingertips. And that goes right into what we talked about with copyright styling yesterday on my training. You want it to be catchy. You want it to have a play on words. You want it to be persuasive with psychology and to be different. And I think that is a perfect example. Whoops, where did it go? No. I just backtracked and it erased itself. Normally I do this in my notepad, but for the time being, I was trying to be proficient. Fitness plans and motivation. Okay. So I'm just gonna do these two, and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing. That way I'm not spending too much time on this. If all of this is making sense so far as to why it takes, like why you should do this, please drop a number 3. I don't know if I need to explain more, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Like you just want to look the part, right? You want to look like you're worthy of the investment of, the products or the business or whatever you're trying to do. Okay. So if you guys look at my profile, it already looks, I feel like 100 times better. And I just made 3 easy changes. I'm just gonna add another emoji so that way it kind of sizes and aligns, because the one line was like cut like too short. It didn't like flow with the alignment. And that's something else I look at is how does the flow? Is this word longer than this word, and how does it look? Because it's all about being visually appealing. And I feel like people just don't, you may just not realize it until you're told like, oh, you should probably look at that. So let's see. I'm going to do a globe because I want people to know that it's global, that it's worldwide, that I can do fitness plans, with the products. We're global, right? So, online coach, Tampa Bay, fitness plans and motivation, accountability at your fingertips. So that's what that looks. And there's a lot of blues in there. I chose icons, emojis that are specifically flowing with my profile picture. And now I'm going to edit my highlights so that way we can see the whole flow of everything. And I went to Pinterest and I'm just going to search. So in order to do your highlights, you have to already be uploading stories. And then you basically, what I wrote down is you basically place the most important stories in your highlights. So what do you post about? And that's how you decide what to make your highlights. Do you post quotes? Do you post your food a lot? Like, what do you share on stories? Do you post your family? Do you post your story a lot, before and after pictures? Then you would want to make highlights based on that. So that way you can just save those that you feel like look the best, that you did the best job on, that you got the most traction out of. And that's what I highlight. I just highlight basically the best stories, and or what you want people to read and see as soon as they go on your page, because some people will creep through all of those just to get to know you, if you're not doing all the things on stories every single day. So those highlights do serve a purpose. I have signed people from highlights just because I took the time to put my story out there, and it allows people to just see more of you without you always having to be uploading everything during that 24 hours. Does that make sense? Because stories, they will expire after 24 hours. So and we'll get into a little bit about that, but the highlights is what you want to legit highlight, like exactly what the word means, based off of your stories. Well, I guess Prince wanted to say hi to you guys, so there's my other cat. Okay, so highlight covers for Instagram. That's all you can search if you want, or you can make your own. There's an easy way to do it when it comes to uploading on stories. You can I guess I can show you guys, because this wasn't even a bad idea for me to maybe do. So you want to, if you don't know how to upload anything, there's your profile, right? You want to click on your profile picture. If you don't have any stories up, it pulls up just the camera. You want to take a picture of whatever. So I'm just going to take a picture of what is in front of me, my laptop, okay? And then you want to click the little squiggle. Oops, not the words, squiggle. And it's gonna pull up all your writing tools. You wanna leave it on the first one. That is basically like a marker. And you want to pick a color from the color wheel. I'm gonna do the light pink one, okay? You wanna hold it down. This changes the entire background to that color. So this is a quick, easy way to just put icons up of your highlights of just solid colors, which some people have that and it looks very clean. That's the whole point of social media, is you want it to look aesthetically pleasing, clean cut, whatever colors in your profile picture, that's what I would pick. So that way it all flows. Like I said, you want to have unison in your social media, and then you just click done, click save, which is the little arrow right over here. So I just saved it. Now it's in my camera roll, discard. And now, this is even easier than going on Pinterest and looking for something. So now I'm gonna click on my first highlight. I'm just gonna remove this entire highlight with my Snap code, because that's not necessary. I'm not focusing on my Snapchat right now, so I don't need to be promoting my Snapchat. I am going to click on Foodie, and I'm gonna click Edit Highlight. when you click more at the bottom, it's gonna pull up options, and that's where you'll see edit highlight. And I am just going to click edit cover, and I'm gonna add that pink background, and it is legit just a pink circle now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that coolsymbol.com where I find all my Instagram fonts, and I am going to type for me, it would be like meal plans, because I want to focus on different aspects of being an online coach. But for you, you could type in food, you can type in whatever. You can just put an emoji. You can basically brand these however you want. The point is you just want them to all flow. You just want them to all look the same, whether it be like on my personal page, Miss Fitness Princess, I have it's basically all pastel colors, and the fonts underneath, wherever it has the words, all say like this, it's the same font, right? So it says like all different things, but it's all the same. So it all flows and it's all unison. And all of my highlights on my personal page, they're basically like a rainbow. If you look at it, I did it so it would like flow into the next color, which is kind of advanced. I'm just trying to keep this very basic. And you guys, the best part about this training, this is like the only time you have to do this. This is not something you always have to do and redo and update. Obviously, you do want to change it up, maybe every, 3 to 6 to 9 months as you're trying to grow and rebrand, but you don't have to do it like every day. You know what I mean? So take the time to do it now. We're already on this training, and you won't have to really worry about it again. So it'll be easier next time too, because everything will be set up and you just have to click, edit the photo, and then you can delete and pick certain things that you want on your highlights, because you can only have 100 things highlighted at once. So don't worry about adding too much. And you can tap through it, see how it looks. And then you can basically, take them off the archive or back on to selected. My cats are so cute. Okay, so archive. I typed in meal plans. Let me hit done. And at least it just looks better now. Obviously, those meals is not meal plans, but I'm just trying to change the flow of it. And just understand that this is a process. It's not going to look perfect in 1 hour. Like, you're going to have to play with it, tweak it, add things. And you're going to have to think of, okay, what do I want to upload on stories to then add to highlights? And that's kind of what I do is I will first change how everything looks, and then I will start uploading my stories to then add to the highlights. So the highlights come first before we do the stories. That's why we're doing it in this order. So now socials, but I'm not even going to look at what I already had. I just need to think like rebrand. So I'm going to just honestly delete all of these, because I need to have a fresh, palette of what fresh canvas. There we go. Not palette, fresh canvas of what I want to even put on here. So meal plans is something that I want. So like if you look at my my personal page, I'm just going to show you guys real quick. So this is my personal account. You see how everything kind of flows. I have all these different highlights already set up. They're all pastel colors. Let me turn down my screen brightness just a little bit more and clean this off. Okay. So they all flow. See how it's like darker orange, lighter orange, yellow, gray, pink, blue, and then green. I wrote home things because I was recently moving and I was uploading a lot of my decorating. I also wrote quotes, and I upload, a lot of quotes. That's my love language. So I focus on that. Travel life, fitness goals, cat mom, strength, detox, and then me. So I did all the categories that I post about that represent me. And sometimes it's different things than what's in my bio, because your bio only has so many characters, right? You don't want it to look overwhelming. So if you still want to talk about something that's you, right, you can use that in your highlights. So highlights can also be like an extension of your bio. Just like my strength, I have my tattoos on there. I didn't write, tatted up or anything like in my bio, but because my tattoos symbolize strength, that's what I kind of incorporated into one. And then I also talk about my faith journey with that. So it's like a 2-in-1 thing. But those are both like adjectives about me, right? People would say that I have tattoos and that I focus on my faith. So I tie that into one. Fitness goals, you know, I still want to brand my name. So, I mean, it all kind of starts with your name. What is your Instagram name? That's how that could help you, you know, develop your profile picture, your actual name on your profile, and then your highlights, because it all flows. So I wrote fitness goals because my name is Fitness Princess. So it ties in together, right? So it all has to flow. That is the main thing when it comes to all these things. And the hashtags would help you get exposure. So even for me, like I'm looking at my regular page now, I could even do hashtag cat mom. So that way I get exposure from being a cat mom. So I am going to do that. See, learning as we go. And it's like you're never done tweaking. You're never done editing it. You're never done growing it, because it can always be better, you guys. Everything can always be better. And that is the point with social media. But don't stress yourself out to the point where you're like not getting things done. Give yourself grace. Be confident in what it looks like now. And then whenever you get that idea, like just now, I got that idea to combine those two words and do hashtag cat mom. In my bio, you can do that. You can just edit it on demand. And that's what I love about this is it's not like a live video that you can't edit, right? Social media is something that you constantly can edit and grow it and make it better. And you can always ask for opinions, you know, ask a friend, you know, how does this look? Would you join me? You know, even if they didn't join you yet, just ask them like, well, would you based on this? And I feel like sometimes our friends or our family, as we're going into Thanksgiving tomorrow, are our best, you know, people to really tell us the truth. So back to my regular masterpiece I'm working on. I'm going to delete this other hashtag or this other highlight. All these words sound the same, hashtag highlight. And I'm going to edit it. I'm going to add another pink background. And then I'm going to go back to Safari and I'm going to change the word. I want to write my journey, because I'm going to talk about my fitness journey, because I'm trying to brand myself with fitness, right? So it only makes sense. My journey. So you guys can do that too with your story. Your story should always be on your highlights. It should be, you know, how you got started, why you got started, what this business is doing for you. You know, your story with the products. If you have a weight loss transformation, that needs to be highlighted. Things that are going to make you money, things that bring attention to you in a positive way is what should be on your highlights. And if you don't know what that is yet, then like I said, ask someone, or just start noticing, you know, what do people talk to you about? What do people ask you about? What do you sell the most? You know, which product? If you love coffee, then you can put, you know, coffee lover, something like that. All right, meal plans, my journey. And I feel like with highlights, you should have at least 4 so it fills up the whole page when you're looking at your Instagram. And you probably shouldn't have more than like 10. I feel like 10 is a good amount to, you know, talk about a lot of things. It just depends on how much you post, because if your highlights aren't filled with stories, then it looks underdone. And you don't want that. You want it to look presentable in a way that you look legit, like you know what you're doing and you're going to pull people in, versus like, make them bored. Like, why is this even here if there's nothing to show? You know what I mean? So you want to kind of keep that in mind. And I'm trying to think, what's the next one I can do? Okay, so I can put and because this is more of like my fitness one, I'm going to straight up put like 2-day cleanse, because we sell a 2-day cleanse, but other people don't know that. So they're going to be like, what is a 2-day cleanse? That sounds good. So again, copyright style, you want to pull people in with psychology, and you want people, you know, it's kind of like curiosity marketing. You want to give people a reason to click on it. So if you are putting things like, join my team, buy now, like that's not going to work. Like you want to be creative with this, because that's the whole point of it. The whole point is to just highlight something that you are doing to make people want to know more, right? You want people to ask you or to click on it to learn more. You don't just want to give them all the information. So 2-day cleanse, let's see. And now I'm looking at the font for what I've been doing the other ones in, and I don't like how 2-Day Cleanse looks in that font. So, I'm gonna just write detox and let's see if that looks better. That's what I have on my other page too. So if anything, that is me being in unison with both my pages. And don't feel like you have to have a second page. I just have it because I was branding myself as a personal trainer when I first got started with this business. I just wanted to separate out some stuff. Okay, detox. But if you watch the beginning of this, you know that I have not been keeping up with it. I'm just doing this for the purpose of rebranding it so that way it looks better. And now I lost that font that I was doing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that's it. I think it's Fancy Style 8 is what I'm using, if anyone's curious. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, so I'm just gonna do one more. I'm gonna do, I wanted to do something like testimonies, but testimonies is gonna look too long when the word is written out on your highlights. So trying to think of another word for testimonies. I guess I could do before and afters, or I could do progress, or I can do B and A with like the little camera icon, but I want it to flow. So I'm just gonna do progress and put that up and see how that looks. And then I'm gonna get into talking about the hashtags and my notes, and then we will wrap this up. Oh yeah, Fancy Style 8, okay. It looks so weird. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this font, but for now it can be there. Let's see. Okay, so I'm picking something from my highlights, edit cover. So you have to pick something that you already uploaded. Then you want to put the little color icon. Oh, but you guys can't see that. So I'm using that same pink photo for every single one. And then I'm pasting what I just took off of the top. Okay, so now doesn't that look so much better? How it flows with my profile picture, my bio, and then all of my highlights. It all looks in unison. It all looks the same. Now, as you guys are looking down, so, you know, you want to look from the top down. Now, all of this, my pictures and my posts, they don't match what that looks like. So now, obviously, I'm going to change my filter and how I'm posting. And this is the whole, like, full spectrum of when it comes to branding yourself on social media. Okay, so hopefully that helped you guys. Definitely make sure you do that. It's going to change your business. It's going to change your social media. It's just going to give a different vibe, a different feel. So hashtags when we're posting, I personally believe that they should be the first comment. I don't recommend putting them in the actual post because as people are scrolling and reading, they're going to see that chunk that looks clutter, right? We want it to look clean and just focus on the words of your post, not the actual hashtag. So I personally copy and paste them into my my first comment, and I believe you can do up to like 29 hashtags. And whenever you're looking to hashtag, you probably are like, well, I don't even know what hashtag. To give you guys an example, on my personal page, I took this photo of, let me see which one's a good example. Okay, I took this one of me on my cruise vacation, and I, you know, typed up a whole lifestyle post. Then if you go to the comments, you'll see my whole paragraph of hashtags. The best part about this is too, you don't have to do hashtags every single time. What I do is I copy and paste them and do them in my notepad first, and then I copy and paste another chunk, put them in my notepad. I have a thread in my notepad with all my hashtags, and anytime I'm looking to find a set of hashtags, I will just go to my notepad and search hashtag fitness, hashtag fun, and then that whole chunk of paragraph pops up, and then you just copy and paste it. So for this one, I wrote hashtag Disney Cruise, hashtag Castaway K, because that's where we were at, fun times, soul searching, but I spelled it wrong, transform, fitness model, blessed life, fitness life, health and wellness, boss babes, Bahamas, beach photo shoot, work in progress, Fitspo, girl boss, gym time, fitness, salty air, sandy hair, freedom, November vibes, work for yourself, fitness goals, fit lifestyle, and diff eyewear, because those are the sunglasses I'm wearing. So why did I use a whole wide variety like that of different things? It all has to do with that picture, right? It all describes the month that we're in, you know, fitness, what I'm wearing, things like that. But the reason why they're all so different, I didn't just do hashtag health inspo, hashtag, you know, health and wellness, healthy lifestyle. Like I didn't just pick one topic and do all the hashtags around that. I did all different, a wide variety, because I'm trying to reach people in all different networks. I want people that look at sunglasses, that go on Disney cruises, that, you know, talk about being a work in progress, that talk about November goals. Like I'm trying to hit all these different networks, all these different markets. So that way I have a wide variety of pull towards my, you know, my audience, my brand, my, that's what I'm trying to attract. I'm trying to attract people from all different avenues, all different areas. And I feel like this is something that has really changed the game for me, and how I've been able to be so successful on Instagram is because I don't hashtag just like a specific thing. I hashtag as many different things that I can think of. So that way it gives me a wide variety of potentials, a wide variety of enrollments. I will hashtag, you know, where I live. I will hashtag, you know, different things depending on the picture. Like if I took a selfie in my house, I'm going to be hashtagging, you know, the city I live in, the state I live in, different things regarding that, because I'm trying to build local, right? So it just depends on where you're trying to build. You have to know your target audience first and your intention of posting and social media before you can figure out your hashtags. And you guys, this is deep. I'm getting kind of in depth, but that's what it takes to really focus on, you know, building $1 million business on social media. So if you just signed up, you know, to do this as a hobby, that's fine. But if you signed up to, you know, go Ruby, go Diamond, to make a legitimate full-time income, it takes kind of, you know, knowing some of these things. Because you want to set yourself apart from the rest. You want to be that 1%. And this is the type of stuff, knowing these things are going to set you apart, because you're going to be doing that extra, you know, that extra reach to different networks, different markets where people may not even know what It Works is. That's the goal, is to pull into, like I pulled into, you know, Disney Cruise. How many people want to go on Disney cruises? Or maybe they don't, you know, maybe they do go on Disney cruises. That's good prospects, right? They like to travel. They like to have fun. That's what we're about too. So whenever you click on that hashtag, look at the type of people that are going on Disney cruises, right? They're fun people. They're traveling. They need freedom, which we offer. They need money, which we can make up, you know, help them make. And people probably want to look good in a bikini, right? If they're going on a cruise. So we offer weight loss. You guys, like, you have to think what you're hashtagging in a sense of how you're going to recruit people from it. That's my mindset leading into it. I don't just hashtag fun, because there's like 2 billion gajillion hashtags of that. You want to hashtag stuff that's more specific, that is like small, medium, and large. So Disney cruise would be a large hashtag, right? 548,000. So that would be a huge one. I hashtag Castaway K because it's only at 114,000. The reason too why you want to hashtag things that are about your picture is because you want to find people that have a common interest. So if I went to Disney, you know, on a Disney cruise, other people are probably going on a Disney cruise, and then we have something to talk about. The whole point of social media is to build relationships and to find things that you relate on. That's why I just hashtag cat mom in my bio. I want other cat moms to come be on my team. Like, I'm staring at my girl in Canada, Angelique. She's a cat mom. I think she joined me because she said I'm also a cat mom. I remember that conversation. So this is the importance of finding your brand and knowing, you know, exactly who you're trying to target. So if you look at the hashtag salty air, sandy hair, for example, this one only has 500 plus people that have also used that hashtag on pictures. I like using large, medium, and small. This would be a small one, only 5,000 plus. That's pretty small, because if someone is specifically looking at that, they're more likely to find my picture, right? So if I click on recent, guarantee you, I just scroll down like 3, and there's my picture. So that's what you want. You want people to be able to find you quickly when it comes to a specific smaller tag. But I wouldn't recommend doing ones that are like 100 or less. If I am trying to hashtag something that's 100 or less, and it gives you a preview when you're typing it, I pick something different, because I feel like no one's going to go to that if there's 100 or less. You know what I mean? So you want to pick stuff that's popular, that's not that popular, and that's like super popular, but not so many of them, because then people won't even, find it. So November Vibes is another lower one, I would say. It's like a medium one, actually, 35.1K. So this would be a medium example. The large ones are like over 100,000, I would say. Mediums is under 100,000, and then the small are like around that 1,000, under 1,000, 5,000 mark. And you want to kind of hashtag all 3. And I also will go to my posts. I feel like you guys always, people always ask me, well, who do you follow? How do you know who to follow? You guys go to your posts, go to your set of hashtags, and start clicking on your hashtags and following people. Because if you're hashtagging that, you want to follow people with similar interests, right? So I just did that. I clicked on November Vibes, and I already found a girl that I liked how she posted. I followed her immediately. So that's how easy it is, you guys. Don't overcomplicate growing your social media, because it's really that easy. What are you hashtagging? What are you posting? Go off of that, because they're more likely to follow you back because you are posting about what they're posting about. Does that make sense? So drop a number 4 if that makes sense. I'm going to just take a minute to make sure I didn't forget anything. But hashtags allow people to find you. They allow you to grow your network faster. They allow people to find you. And, sometimes people won't even follow you. They'll just find your post and then they'll message you. And that is the beauty of attraction marketing. So, hopefully that makes sense. That's honestly all I got, and I felt like that was a good closing statement. If you enjoyed my trainings, please subscribe to my YouTube. If you're watching the replay, that is also where I post them immediately. And I just hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please reach out, and I hope you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving. Bye.